Hi, everyone. It is good to see you all out there, even though I don't see you. It's good that you are out there. Thank you very much. We are talking today um, about family search. I know a lot of us, family search is our go to for family history, and we're talking about getting our family history going. So, we'll go over just a few things that we talked about last week, and then hopefully, I will be able to give you some hints, even if you know family search, of things that you can do on family search. And it's important that we do classes like this frequently or at least once in a while, because the amazing thing about family search is it is always upgrading, always adding records, always improving and changing. So it's good for us to stay up with the times and to know what's going on with family search. Um, for this class, if you are able to, I suggest that you open family search in another tab or screen, just so that you can look along at the things that I will be talking about. And like I said before, a lot of it may be just basics for you, but I just want to make you aware of some of the things that are not the most obvious when we go onto the family search website. So, and it'll make your family history a whole lot easier and more enjoyable. So, we're going to talk about starting our family history with family search. This is a review of what we talked about last week of why we do family history research. Um, this quote by Joseph F. Smith, I repeat it practically every class that I have because it is so poignant and such good information and good reasoning to do family history. And it reads, our fathers and mothers, brothers, sisters, and friends who have passed away from this earth may visit their relatives and friends upon the earth, bringing messages of love, warning, reproof, or instruction to those they had learned to love in the flesh. So this is a class for any kind of an audience. And just to let you know, Family Search is open to anyone, whether they are a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints or not. I do happen to be a member, and this is my belief, that our loved ones who have gone before us are there with us and cheering us on. And so I like to use that thought as a basis for my reasoning. They want me to know about them. They want me to learn. They want me to understand. And so if you can think about that and how it will benefit your life, you will truly enjoy family history. So last class, we talked about starting with yourself. Write down what you know. Write down the names that you know, the dates that you know, gather documents you may already have. I mentioned a beautiful, just a certificate, a marriage certificate of my grandparents, actually my great grandparents, that my grandfather had on his wall for years. And it's more of a decorative, commemorative piece rather than an official document. It doesn't have a seal on it, but on that document, I have names, dates, places, witnesses, who married them, so much information. So sometimes we need to look in not super likely places. So keep that in mind as you gather things. And then the third most important thing is to ask family for help. Interview the relatives you have. I suggest starting with the oldest, and asking them questions about family. I've done this with my grandmother. She's 99. My grandfather recently died, and he was 99 as well. And once, for both of them, I would get them talking. They gave me treasures, things that there was no way I could have figured out. So I definitely encourage you to seek out your relatives, even if you don't know them very well, and just ask them questions about your family. There are many things that you can ask online. You will get interview sheets and different ideas. So now we're going to get organized. We're going to gather everything in one place. whether it's paper or digital. So if it's digital, store it in one place on your computer. Find a system that works for you. We're going to go through this in some more classes after this, because as you will find out, once you open the door to family history, you will be flooded with a deluge of information. And that can be very overwhelming. What do I do with this information? I like many times when I sit down and try to help my mom with family history, at times we have not gotten very far, because every piece of information that comes up, she wants to stop and write it down. And I tell her, Mom, don't worry, we're going to store it. We will put this information, it'll be there. But it's very overwhelming to be getting new information and wanting to keep it all and make sure it doesn't get lost. So we're going to talk about that. Here, this is a link, and Emma can put this in the chat. This is on Family Search. If you go onto Family Search and in their wiki, and this is something that I will show you later where the wiki is, but basically it's just a little question and answer place. If you do not know where to start, you can go to this place and type in, how do I start family history? But the wiki on there, wonderful people have put so much information on there already. And this, the link that we're going to share with you here, this is just the forms that you start doing your family search with. So I suggest that you do a family group sheet and that you do a pedigree chart. Just start out with those very, very simple, basic things. So if you look in the chat, it will be there. So your next step, and many of us have already done this, but a lot of us haven't used Family Search very much. So we set up our Family Search account and enter all of our information. Remember, this is a big tree for all. If you are a member of the church, you will need your membership record number, which can be obtained from your ward clerk or anyone in the bishopric. If not, just follow the instructions, and you just click on create account if you don't have an account, and it will walk you through. But I like the idea that Family Search, the goal is to have one record for each person that has lived on the earth. So we, all of humanity, we are one giant family, and that is pretty amazing. And like I said, we are adding names all the time at Family Search, and we're going to talk a little bit about how that's done as well. So here is an introduction to Family Search. Now I'm going to share my screen with you. This is my Family Search, and Emma's going to let me know if it's okay. Emma, we good? Do you see my screen? Yeah, good. She sees it. Woohoo! Okay, I am over here, and this is something that is really interesting that I've learned about the past couple of years as I've been a missionary for Family Search. And that is, it's called Family Search Beta. And this is a place that you can go if you want to practice, if you're afraid that you're not sure how to enter things, that you might get it wrong. It's just beta.familysearch.org, and maybe Elder Farnsworth or Sister Esplin could put that in the chat. What I like about it is that it only stays on there for, I believe, a few weeks or up to a month, and then it just goes back, and whatever you changed on your tree, it's like it never happened. So it's a great place to practice, and I'm going to enter some things today, so that's why I'm using this. And it looks just a little bit different right here. You can see where my cursor is circling, just a little red beta, but Family Search looks exactly the same. So when we go on to Family Search, first I want us to look at the very front page. And a lot of times it's easy just to go to your tree and start, working. But we're going to talk about those things later. But when we're here on our front page, there are several really amazing tools that can help us. And the first thing is, we have got over here a volunteer opportunity. So if you want to do family search, but you maybe feel like, "Ah, I don't really have any information, I don't know where to start, I don't know what to do," that is a good place to go because you are doing something so good by volunteering. And this is fixing place names, which we need to make records searchable with our search engine. So if you do nothing else, you can go in and volunteer and do some family search volunteering that way. So that is the volunteer opportunity. Usually, right here at the very top left, they give you a little pep talk, I like to call it, or they'll say, what's new. um, so right here, look at this right down here. Learn family history basics. So just by going onto the website, right here on this front page, we have so much information and so many things that we can do to learn about family history. Now, this is something that I love. Right here, this box, it's recommended tasks. So a lot of times we may be wondering, wow, what do I do? Where do I go? I mean, there are a billion names on this tree. Where do I start? So if you look at the recommended tasks right here, you can see that there are records and temple opportunities for those who are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The records, if we press records, look at all the records that it brings in. Oh, but sorry, it wants me to sign in again. Sorry about that. So what it will do is it will bring up and say, hey, we found records for these people in your tree, and we're pretty sure they're yours. Now, family search is over 95. I think the number is 97, so I'll just say 95. Over 95% effective, the hints are. So most of the time that will be your family, and you're going to need to do a little investigating and comparing to make sure it is. But even if you look at a person and say, oh, um, information is already found for this person, I like to find every little piece of information I can to really flesh out a person and make them real. So I always look at the records that they have found. Sometimes I already have them in my family tree, but a lot of times I don't. And it is really amazing. You can look year by year and really see what a person's life has been like if you do that with the records. So there are your recommended tasks. Okay, right under that, we have recent people. Now, this is really helpful if you are working on one family line or maybe one person. You can just go right here on your front page and click that. This is me. So if I were working on myself, I can just click myself and it'll always stay on the most recent person. So if I open it right here, it will give me, this is my most recent one in the beta. It'll give you a list of who you've been working with lately, and it's kind of nice to navigate. That's a really easy way to get back and forth. Now, for everyone out there, I am just betting some of you at least have not used this handy dandy tool, and that is the to-do list right here. This is a to-do list for family history. So if I want to add an item, or things to work on. One thing that I did a while back was I went through and I looked at my family tree and I thought about it and I determined, where does work need to be done? What am I missing? So I might say, find, this is Edna, my grandmother's, and I already have her information. But let's say I wanted to find her birth record. That is something that I want to work on with family history. And then let's say I want to find Edna death record. So you can just write anything you want here, and it makes it a little checklist, which I love because then the next time I go into family search, I can just do my little item and look, I can make a check mark, which is, like really fun to do. So if I want to show, it'll say, see, I did that. So this is a really good place to start too. If you don't know what to do, you could write in here, you know, learn how to add a child to a couple. So anything that you think about as you're going along and you think, oh, I need to do that, or I need to remember this, I need to remember this. This is a nice little list that will always come up. If you're like me, I am the type that I write a list on a piece of paper, or to my husband's chagrin, maybe the back of a book, inside the jacket, or anything I can find. But then at times it can be harder to find, when I need to get that information. It's harder to retrieve it. So I love this to-do list. So I encourage you all to use that to set your goals and write the list of things that you want to learn. Okay, let's see. Emma, do we have any questions that we need answered, or we're good? Okay, we're good. All right, so we're just gonna go across in family search, and I'm gonna show you a few things. So if you wanna know what it is, you can do this overview. It tells you exactly what family search family tree is. Now, we're gonna go straight to the tree, and I'm gonna show you a few things here. So here we are in the tree, and what I love is you can go over here and make it bigger. You can make it as big as you want. And again, this is my tree, and here I am. We can make it smaller if we want. If we want to move it around, you've got this crosshatch here in the middle, and you just push down and you can move it to wherever you want. So you can find different people if you have it expanded. If you want to go back to where you were, we're going to click right here, middle, and that's going to take it in the middle. If we want to go home, that means to the main person, and the home person, when you just open up your tree, is you. So that's going to go to me there. Now from this view, you can see that I have got my husband's parents, my parents, and then it goes further on. And to expand, I'm just gonna click an arrow, and that should bring up more people. One thing that I really love about this version is you can see all the pictures that I put up, and that's kind of a goal for me, to have as many pictures as I can, to make my family become alive. I love having pictures of them. Anyway, so this is our landscape view. I'm gonna go home over here. I'm gonna click home, taking me right back to when I open up my tree, and I'm gonna click up here. If I do a portrait, then that just switches my tree to a different view. So you can see, same tree, different view. So whatever works for you, whatever works for your brain. My favorite is this next, and it's called a fan chart. I think I like it because it's just really pretty, but I enjoy seeing all of my relatives just at once, like this. Up here at the top, I can make it 6 generations, or I can make it 7 generations, which is when things, as you see, kind of start getting a little spotty for me. What I love about this is if I go over here to this drop down menu for the fan chart, I can determine birth country. So as you can see, most of my family is born in the United States. I've got some Germany. I have got United Kingdom. I've got Switzerland, British colonial America. So that's kind of a nice view. You can kind of see where everybody has come from. The next one down, this is the sources. So this will show you, you can see where your work is really, really strong. You can see where you have 10 plus sources. So you can see all the darkest color in here. I have 10 plus sources for those people. So if I'm kind of wondering, what should I do next? I can go over maybe to this person here, Amanda Hannah Bone. That is my great great grandmother, and she only has 1 to 4 sources. Her husband has got over 10. So it's likely that there are some records there that I need to make sure is with her information as well. So that's kind of a good way. You can see when I look at this, I can see that, wow, and this is kind of getting back a little further. So we expect it, but this person, has maybe 1 record, this person has 0. So a lot of times we can see just where we want to work on. And so what I might do is I might look at this information and say, ooh, Augusta Groff. So Augusta, she does not have very many sources. So I would go out to my to-do list and write, determine what sources Augusta Groff has and what sources I want to find for her. So that is one way that you can use your to-do list along with this chart. So here is another, if we want to look at stories. So you can see this is a part that really needs to be worked on in my family tree. But that's kind of a tricky thing too, because sometimes stories can be labeled as something else. So I actually have more stories than it looks like. But this is one thing that you'll know where to work at. So here are my photos. You can see I've got a lot of photos, but there are some, and some it's going to be impossible to find, but that is something I could do. All right, so once we go down here, we have research helps. And I love this because you can see I've got some colors on here. So right here, and this is my great-grandfather, my great-grandmother, it says that they have record hints, meaning, hey, they found some records that belong to these people, so I need to go out and find them. You can actually just click onto that person. It will take you to their person page, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about that, but it's kind of nice that you can navigate it from here. Oh, well, I'll just do it, and hopefully it doesn't make me sign back in again. But okay, so I'm going out here to my great grandfather. Actually, this is my great grandfather. I'm going to go look right under here, research help. And here, this little blue thing means that they have a hint. So as you can see, it's such an easy way to navigate. I love this, this fan chart view. Okay, and then for ordinances, you can see the same here. For those who are taking names to the temple, you can see you cannot request them. That may be because the person is already or still alive. You can request them and in progress. Or they might have already had their work done. So this is just a snapshot, a way to see your whole family tree. If that's too overwhelming to you, dial it down and let's just do 5 generations. So look how much more manageable and easy that is. I can even do 4. Let's see how I'm doing here with 4. Look, I've got 4 generations and I can see that I have information, ordinances that I can request. So it's an easy way, I think, to knock out all of the busy overwhelmingness, but to take this just in generations as you go and to see how you can do there. So that's our fan chart. The next way to view our family tree is the descendancy view. And that means those who have come after. So you can see here is me and my spouse. These are my 2 daughters. And let's say that I want to do, I'm going to expand it a little. I'm going to go with my grandfather, and I want to see 4 generations. Now you can see here, we've got my grandpa, my grandma, my dad and my mom, me, and then my brother is down here, and these are my aunts and uncles. This is kind of a neat way to see things too, because you can see what information. I can go over here to options and I can check. Let's do record hints. Let's see. And actually, probably I need to go a little bit further back. Let me go a little bit further back because it's not giving me any information. While a person is living or within 100 years of their birth, you cannot look up information for them. So I need to go back a little bit further to show you, to get a better example and show you. Okay, so I'm going over here to Elgin Davis, and I'm going to look at his tree. And I ended up in Descendancy research. Okay, so finally that brought some information up. So you can see over here, this is telling me that I have some temple ordinances available right here. Research suggestions. So they're saying, you know, you don't have this person's death record. So you can see that it just says that she was deceased. I don't have her birth information, her death information. This is a good way to view entire families and see what you are missing and who is missing. So that's a really good way to see it. And again, that is called Descendancy view. So you can see as many generations, up to 4, that you want. And again, it will give us over on this right side, look at all this information that brought up. I couldn't see this with the regular family tree because it doesn't show all the children of a person. So here you can see, oh, wow, there are some record hints right here for Earl, Warwick, and Good, and Elgin Butcher right here. So this is a great way to look at your family tree. Again, look at it, can be a little overwhelming. Wow, that just brought up so much work. Just, that's okay. Write it down and go put it on your to-do list. So those are the different ways that we can look at a tree. So again, if we go back, just the regular old tree, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go to my regular landscape tree that comes up. This is a great way. You can still see information, but visually, to me, it is easier to do something like the fan chart. So play around with this right here. This is good information, and it's not just the way that it looks, but the way they present the information is a little different and sometimes can open things up. Okay, so if I want to work with a certain person, let's say, I am just gonna copy that. Let's say I'm gonna go over next to this person link, and it's gonna bring up a specific person. So here I am, this is my grandfather's page. This is kind of the site for my grandfather. I know many of us are familiar with this, but it has a lot of really cool things here to help us in our family search. So you can see here, I need to add a little life sketch to my grandfather. Next down here, we have his vitals, meaning his name, his birth, his death, his burial. And it tells you that I have sources for a lot of these things. So I've got sources for his death, his birth. Looks like I need one for his burial. And a lot of times you'll go over here and it'll tell you that there is something that you need. 9 times out of 10, if you see this little red exclamation point, it is saying that you're missing a standardized place or date. And that just means that it is, you or someone has not entered it the correct way for the program to for the search engine to find it. So there's a specific way that the search engine likes it. So let's say I'm missing a marriage place, a standardized marriage place. It looks like I'm actually just missing a place. But we can talk a little bit more about that. Generally, as you enter information, a little pop-up screen will bring up what it looks like you already typed, but always click on it. And that gives you the correct way to put it and make it searchable by the Family search engine, and you'll get more information. Okay, so we're going to click on recents, and right here you can see that this brings up the most recent people I've worked with, and that's really a good tool. Now, also just to let you know, each person on their page has a personal identification number. It's also called a PID, and that's really important because that's a way to ensure that a person has one record on the family tree, which is what we really want to happen. A lot of times there are duplicates, and you can take these record numbers and compare them to see if it's the same person. But this right here is a personal identification number, and every person has it. So if we want to find someone, we can click on Find, and we can do it a couple different ways. So we can find an ancestor by typing in a name. So let me try my grandpa, Carl Davis. He is a male. And I'm going to say he is born in Sydney, and it pops it up. So right there, whenever I see something pop up and I look at it and I say, oh, that's the right place, I want to click on it because that just put in the exact format that the search engine wants. So it'll search for the right place. And then I'm going to say he was born, let's say I didn't know, I do know, but I will say he was born from 1910 to 1920. And then I'm gonna click Find. So then Family Search goes in and it pulls up all the people that it could be. So it's really helpful to have other information. For instance, I know that this is the correct Carl Davis because indeed he did die in Puerto Rico, and he is married to Amelia, who is my great grandmother. So that is a way you can stick any name in there. Generally, Family Search will bring up either someone that is in your tree or someone close to your tree. And sometimes it just takes a name. And so I like to go general to more details. If I can't find it, I'll add more detail that I have. But sometimes you just need a name. So these are a lot. This brought up a lot of Carl Davises, as you can see. Luckily, I knew that information was my grandpa. Okay, so if you can see right here, this is my grandpa's PID, personal identification number. If I click on that, and it usually gives me, I'm going to go down here. And I'm going to remember his PID number there. I can also look him up by just using this PID. So I copied the ID. I'm going to go back over to Find. And I'm going to say, I want to find somebody by ID. I'm going to put his personal identification number, and hopefully we will see him come up. And there he is. So I know that this is the right person because this is the correct personal identification number. Sometimes you can get one number off and it's another person and you think, oh no, who is this person? But usually you just have to look at your note. What did you write down? Did you write the right thing? So that's how you find information. Okay. So again, we're still under the family tree. We're going to go over here to following. And what's cool about that is a lot of people are working in family tree. If a person is deceased, their record, except a few certains that have been blocked by family search, like Elvis and the Mayflower, the founding fathers, people that are famous usually have been locked by family search. So we don't have access to them. But those that are in your family or any family really, we have access to them. And there may be someone that you have the correct information and you want to know if anybody changes that information. So we can always follow a person. You can see right here, I've got a couple people that I'm following. That's my grandfather and this other person. And when you follow them, you'll get a little alert and a little information saying, hey, somebody changed the information on this person. And you can go review the information and either talk to that person, saying, well, why do you believe that? Hopefully they wrote why. Or you can just change it back and write the valid reason why. And if you have a really good argument and good evidence, then you'll be able to probably convince them that that information is correct. So that's a little bit of a pain that once in a while your information will get changed. But in general, it is so nice to have collaboration, have somebody working with you. And generally, people want to have correct information. So if you just work with them, and it will give you an option, you'll see who did the information, and you can talk to them. Okay, so this is a really fun tab. Next is my contributions. What's really neat about this is I think a lot of times we can spend time doing family history and not know, what did we do, right? I mean, am I doing anything? But you can see right here, look at this list of, these are some of my contributions to family search. And when you work and you get scrolling around, it's pretty nice to see what you have been doing. So you can see right here in 2020, wow, I have done a lot in 2020 comparatively. So other years look a lot less. 2014 was not a very good year, but it's really neat to be able to see what you have done and how you have contributed. I really like it. I think it's really, really fun. Okay, so that is the general on the tree, on the family tree. And so I'm just going to stop here and ask, are there any questions that I need to answer on the tree?
One anonymous attendee asking how to find the Descendancy view. Just a recap.
Oh, okay. So to find the Descendancy view, you are going to, let me see. You're going to go just to the front page of Family Search, and you're going to click Family Tree, and it's going to bring up your tree here. And then you're going to go right down here. It says Landscape. If I click on this, it will bring up my Descendancy view. So there is my Descendancy view. Okay, looks like we have some things in the chat. I don't know if it's, okay. So I am just gonna keep going through and showing, and hopefully this will help you learn a few more things. And I just encourage you all, this is a lot of information, and go and do it yourself. Just go through the tabs and look at them. What does each thing do? And you'll be able to find it. But here you can search. If I click my search box, I can search records, images, family tree, genealogy, catalog, books, the wiki. So remember I talked to you about the wiki. The wiki it's basically an online encyclopedia about family history. So anything I want to learn about, I can do that with the wiki. So under search, I can search records. So I'll just show you what this looks like. It looks similar to other things, but let's say that I want to search a record for my grandfather. So that's pretty broad. I'm going to go, he was born in Sydenham, Michigan. And then I think he was born in 1911. And let's just see what that brings up. So this is just the broadest, most broad search that you can do. I'm going to turn down. All right. So here we go. And boom, the first thing I see, Carl Davis, even though that was a really broad search, you can see, I can see, oh, that is my grandfather right here on top. He was married to Amelia, or I'm sorry, his mother was Amelia, and these are his siblings. So that is one way to search for people. Just type their name in and whatever you know, and you can start that way. Again, a lot of times the more information you have will narrow it down, especially if you have a common name. Carl Davis is a pretty common name. So luckily I knew his birth year and his place. So that is searching records. It's going to bring up any kind of record they can find for Carl Davis. Now let's look at searching images. So these are historical images. This is a huge, these are documents. And so let's just for fun, see if I find, I might not find anything. But let's see for kicks if it brings anything up. Okay, so it did not bring anything up. So what I'm gonna do is, let's see, let's take the Sidna out and do Houghton County. So see here I have to, sometimes we have to play with it and just add less information and see. Okay, well, it didn't bring anything there. But you can see that if I wrote Michigan, probably would find it. Or if I had even a more detailed. So these are images that in historical documents. So that is searching for that. So the next we have is searching family tree. So if we pull that up, again, we've already seen this. So we can do it by name or by ID, personal identification number. Search genealogies. So these are genealogies that are submitted to Family Search. So these are other people that have done information, and you can take their information and compare it with yours and see if you find anything that matches. So let's see, let's look for my grandpa here. So this is the fun part, is a lot of it is just exploring. We're going to go with Sydenham, Michigan again, and I will see if I find anything. I doubt it because, you know, oh, there he is right there. So he was found in the International Genealogical Index here. And then down here, he was also found in the International Genealogical Index, which is an old school church indexing system. So I can go through here. Here's another one. So it's really fun to see what information may already be out there on your relatives. And I found that by going through the search, and I'm in genealogies. Okay, now I'm going to show you a really great tool. It's the catalog. So this is kind of like our card catalog. Remember, if you can remember that far back when you had to go and look through a box and find information. Well, this is our digital card catalog. So if I want to search by a place, let's say I want to search Sydenham, Michigan. Here it is, where my grandpa was born. And I'm going to see what information they even have online. Oh, they have one thing. They have a directory here. And so I can open that up. So I'm finding here that this directory is on a microfilm. So if I go to a family history library, and the cool thing is you can always find a family history library that is near you, I can find some information about it. So this is giving me a little more detail, but it's saying I need to go to the family history library, and there's always one close. So sometimes you'll look, and you can also say whether you want to look, do I want to look for only something that's online, something that I can find at a family history or center, or any. I usually do any because I figure any information out there I want to find out. Okay, so going back to search, books. This is another place that we can also search, and it's really fun to search. So I'm just going to see if there's anything about Sidna, Michigan. This is a really general search. Oh, look at, so then I have a Michigan county map guide. That can be really helpful because I can find where my relatives lived. Are they close to another county? Here's about Iron Country, which is, there's a lot of mining in Sidna, where my family came from. So here's a cemetery compendium. So I might find some cemetery information here. So, okay. So I have a question here from Rose. If a historical record is found and I choose to save it to my relative, does it duplicate as a source if someone has already added the record to the relative? Yes, it does. A lot of times, because things are being indexed all the time, one record may be indexed here and one record may be indexed here. If you find the same record, it'll add both records, even though it's the same. So a lot of times you'll find that you'll have a census record that pops up and think, well, I already have this census record. So it's good to just add it and then go through and look and see, is there anything different about the records? It's just good to have all your bases covered. So thank you, Rose. I hope that answered your question. All right, so this is books. So here's another thing, that if you are just at a stopping point and you don't have anything to do, you can't find anything more you think about a person, go to the books, look up their name, which is a long shot, but hey, sometimes they are mentioned in a book somewhere. Look up where they lived, look up their locality, look up their family name, anything that you can think of. And the books are really cool. All right, so here we go. Last thing we have is the research wiki. So I'm going to show you the magical tool that this is. So here I am. It's a genealogy resource guide, 96,000 articles. So let me just type in here, how do I start family history? And let's see if it brings me. So here, look what I got. How to guess where to start, how to begin a search for your ancestor. And then this is going into English things, searching for Native American when the tribe is unknown. So if we just go right here to this first one, how to begin to search for your ancestor, you can see that it gives you a step-by-step idea of what you can do. And so right down here under related content, it gives you more things that you can read. Principles of family history research, family trees, so you can learn about that. Tips and tactics from 50 years of research. I mean, there is so much information out there that we can learn just by going under, we went under search and we went to the research wiki. So any question you have, go there first. If you have a question, how do I enter a name into family search? Go to the research wiki, it will tell you. How do I merge a person in family search? Go to the research wiki and it will tell you. So that is, that is the best source and the best place that I can tell you to go to because it's really amazing. Okay, memories. I am going to skip over memories because I teach a whole class about memories. But I'll just give you a quick view. Oh, I've got an error. So hopefully it didn't. Let's see if it'll let me go to the overview. Okay, so this is telling you all about your overview. I am going to hope that it opens up my gallery and I can show you. Nope, I can't show you. Okay, memories. The cool thing about this is that this is where you will have pictures, stories, anything. Oh, look, there it is. There, it brought it up. Okay, so again, I teach a whole class on the memories, and this quite honestly is my favorite place in Family Search. I love it. I love adding pictures. I love adding stories. I love adding um, things, quilts that my grandmas have made. I've taken pictures and put them on there. Anything I can add to make a name a person. So you probably have things sitting around your house that you've inherited from relatives, and I encourage you to get that information up here. I will teach you the easiest way to do that using the Memories app on your phone. And I mean, it is so easy and so efficient. So I encourage you all to join in on that class. Okay, I'm going to go and show you the next tag. We are almost done. But the indexing right here, this is where you can go, and they will give you a document, and you need to type information from that document. Indexing is where we get all of the information that we have on Family Search. So things are always being added every month, and it is because people like you and me have done indexing. We have volunteered and gone and looked at documents and helped to extract that information from documents so that we can have it on Family Search. I encourage you to do that. Okay, activities. I'm going to show you activities, and then Temple right here. You can also look at that tab yourself. It just shows you, hey, these people are available to request ordinances. These people have problems. These people have already been requested. So that's a good way for you to keep track. And that's kind of a whole other class itself also. But activities, I love the activities section, especially if you have kids. But honestly, even if you don't, it is so fun. Once you start getting information in your family tree, you go over to the activities. You can find out where you have come from in the world. It shows you on maps. Famous relatives, people that you're related to. This is my favorite one, the compare a face here. And I love it because I'll just show you how it works. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to use a photo that I just took. It's analyzing my image. It's going to go through my tree and find those that I look the most alike. And it is really, really fun. Look, I got mostly like my mom. Oh, here's my guy. I wanted to show you this. I was hoping years and years I have done this. And it wasn't until this year that I got looking like my perfectly cute mom, because normally I get this guy, my second great grandfather. And so I am feeling like they maybe need to work on this part a little. I'm hoping they do, but it's really funny to see who it brings up. So it says, I look like my grandma, my perfectly cute grandma, but nope, I got this guy right here second. So anyways, it's really fun to see who do you look like? And personally, I hope you get someone. I mean, I'm really glad my mom has started to pop up because I don't know, I was beginning to feel really bad about myself. So again, these are the activities. Picture your heritage, in-home activity. It just makes family history come alive. So I encourage you all to go to the front page and start looking at things. I hope that you can see them differently. I hope that you will see that doing family history is so much fun. that your life will be enriched. You will learn more about who you are, and you will feel a deeper connection with your family. Go to your family history. Go to your front page. Oh, look right here. See, we have got a family keepsake that you can print out, and that's always fun to do. So have a great rest of your day, everyone, and I hope that you um, enjoy doing your family history and have um, a joyous Sunday.
Thanks, Sister Karen. Thanks everybody for being here.